Welcome to another episode of Real Chill Conversations. It's your girl, Brenna B. We've got Dominique, we've got
Hey
Natalie,
everyone.
and
Now,
we've got our guest for the evening. We've got Coach Q in the building.
Hey everyone, how everybody doing?
welcome.
So I just want to give it up to this man, and I wanted to invite him on to talk about this topic, the benefits of our youth participating in sports and extracurricular activities. And I just thought he was such a great candidate to join us in on this conversation as he's actively coaching football, but he coaches other sports as well. Coach Q, why don't you go ahead and give everybody a little bit about your background, talk about yourself a little bit, and let us know, how you got into coaching. What prompted you to move to want to coach these children?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Quintavious Relaford. Everybody know me as Coach Q. My admiration for wanting to be a part of the youth sports industry totally came from the kids itself. I love the kids actually. I devote 90% of my time to just trying to better the youth. I'm a believer that they are our future. So if you want to change the future, you have to start with the youth. So that was my motivation. I've been coaching for about 10 years altogether. At Henderson itself, I've been coaching for about 6. I coach all the sports there. So I'm very active in trying to mold and change the youth.
So, how did you get involved with that? Did you have a son that plays, or did you just work with the school, or how do you get involved with coaching?
Well, getting involved with coaching the right way, it's very expensive. Like the classes, they offer classes for you to get certified through the state of Georgia, which you have to get GHSA certified, or you could just become a teacher and just get a lay coaching certificate through the county. Um, Me personally, I was just adamant about being a coach. It's a teaching job. I'm a custodian by job, not a teacher. So it was totally my admiration for wanting to be a coach that made me want to be a coach. Like I just wanted to do it. I didn't have a son. I have 2 daughters. So it was just totally wanting to change the future.
I hear that.
Now, you said you have 2 daughters. Do your daughters participate in organized sports? Do they play any sports or participate in any extracurricular activities?
No, ma'am. My oldest daughter, she's 20 years old now. She had graduated from Cedar Grove High School. I couldn't really get her to do anything. Now, my youngest daughter, if anyone has ever been to a Cougar football game or any sport that I coach, she's always on the sideline with me. So she's very active, but she hasn't played any sport like professionally as of yet. But she says she wants to play soccer and possibly basketball next year.
Okay.
And I have a question, Coach Q.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
makes a great coach to you?
What makes a great coach to me is a coach who doesn't just go off win and losses. It's a coach who's who's actually devoted and uh that see that's tricky. Uh I believe a great coach is one who's devoted to his mission, and his mission could be anything. If your mission is winning losses, then you are a great coach if you are a winning coach. But if your mission isn't just winning losses, if you're really out here to really mold and change, then you will understand that it's deeper than just going out here winning games. You really want to be that guy who some kids are lacking at home. Like there are some kids who are lacking a lot of things at home, who don't have people to talk to, who don't have places to go, who don't have programs to be a part of. So I believe a great coach are the ones who seek and find those candidates and 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 I'm trying to find the right word and encourage them to be the best version of them. That's what I believe. That's just my belief.
I want to say that I have noticed throughout our experience with you over at Henderson Middle and you coaching Bobby, his commitment and his passion and his dedication to coming to conditioning, going to practices, all the things, all the requirements, all the things that you've asked of him to do, he's done, and he does it willingly. He thoroughly enjoys playing. He plays with his heart. The whole team plays with heart. When we sit there and we're at these games, we're watching these kids, and they put their all into it. And, we were at one game where there was a loss, and our youngest son said, "Hey, Bobby, was your coach mad that you guys didn't win?" And Bobby was like, "No, he wasn't mad. He just encouraged us, and he told us what we needed to do for next time." And I just thought that that was so profound. And I thought that that was such a great message. And that was such a great response for Bobby to feel like, oh no, we've let coach down. He's mad at us because we've lost this game. It's like, y'all need to know what you need to do. You got to get in there and do it. We didn't make it this time. We got another go around. We're gonna do it again. So I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
that speaks volumes to the type of coaching and the type of leadership and the type of mentorship that you're offering to these kids. And when we were at the award ceremony, I could tell that you really feel something, for each of these children individually. You really care about these kids. These kids really care about you. And so you've got a team full of hearts that are out there that are committed to try to play this game and do the best that they possibly can. And it's so encouraging and it's so positive.
Well, that is absolutely true about me. I'm not only time I'm angry and the only time I get mad at the kids, and Bobby can tell you, is if they don't try. All I can effort is effort. Effort is the main thing, because I do understand that I'm not coaching NFL players. I'm not coaching college football players. I'm coaching middle school kids who, some of them are foundationally shot. They don't have anything going. They have never played the game before. So who am I to go out there and be upset for a kid that just gave me 4 quarters of pure effort and heart? So I can't be upset at that. I cannot be mad at a kid for giving me the most efficient effort that he could give me. I can't be upset about that. I'm just simply happy that they go out there, they play the game, they perform at the highest level possible, and then we always go back Monday and that following week to try to fix it. That's the only thing that there is to do.
I'm glad y'all said that, because there are coaches out there that take it so seriously, and it's like these are kids at the end of the day, and I don't think anybody is out here getting paid for this. So when it comes to having someone that's a leader and a mentor, even I still remember some of my coaches from back when I was 10 years old, playing on the what was it, the Chili Peppers or the Brewers, some of my softball teams. Those coaches were people that, they followed me up throughout middle school and high school. And they, even though they might not have been my coach, they'll still come to some of my games. And just, the support and having someone that's an adult that might not be your parents is really important.
I have also noticed, like, when it comes to youth sports, on some coaches, they tend not to get some of the kids too much involved because they do be
Mhm.
on the mind frame of, okay, we're going to win. We're going to win. So I have seen other kids not get the opportunity to play or even, you know, that much. So that kind of discourage a child. I want to know your point of view, Coach Q, on that.
Okay. Uh Re-ask me that question one more time. I'm sorry. Just for clarity, I'm sorry.
I have noticed that some coaches in youth sports, they don't let some kids get too involved in the game because they are in the mind frame of just winning the game.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have to say about that, or what's your point of view?
Now again with that, to be a coach and to coach in a and competitive environment, you can't water down the fact that you want to be victorious. Like, you want to be winners. You, at the end of the day, you don't want to be the team on the other end of the stick.
Hmm.
But when it comes down to getting kids involved, it's all about, what do you stand for as a person? Do you stand for I must win, or do you stand for I must teach? I must win souls. I must win lives. Like, I want to win lives. I want to win the kids. I mean, like I say, I'm solely about just trying to make the kids. I want the kids who need the program, not not the fact that the program needs them. I want the kid to need the program. I want the kid to want to come to practice. I don't want to force them. I don't even like making anything mandatory. Like, I like to just see the kids show up. I tell the kids, um, if you come, if only one of you come, I'm having practice. I don't care if it's only one kid. I'm gonna train that one kid, and that one kid that comes on days that it's not required, they will be remembered in those tough situations where I say, well, I need to pick between this kid or that kid. I'm gonna pick the kid that's been the most dedicated, not the kid that's most talented. So, in my perspective, I like dedication and heart. So I'm always looking at those kids who arrive, who come, and not only just come, but who come to be active and who come to participate and who come to at least give their best shot. So I'm looking for the opportunist, not the athlete.
That's fair. You gotta be fair. My dad used to
Yeah.
coach too. He coached baseball, and even after my brother stopped playing, he continued to coach. So that's why I said it's just such a rewarding job when you know the influence and the impact that you can have over someone's life, especially these young kids, especially the ones that need that mentorship and just that motivation and somebody to look up to.
Absolutely. And Coach Q, I wanted to ask you, like, what is your feeling? Like, how do you what's your expectation of the parents of the children that you're coaching? How involved do you expect them to be with the whole process? Because I know that there's a lot of kids that are out here, they've got parents at work, different schedules, they may not be available, they may not be able to participate, they may have different situations that are going on at home. So there's a lot that you have to balance, a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different family situations that you have to contend with each individual student or athlete that you're coaching. What suggestions and recommendations do you have for parents who have their children involved in organized sports?
All right, the main thing that I have for parents, and I'm actually glad that you asked me this. Um, which I can explain. The seesaw effect is you have a kid that knows that they see the coach, they're at the school later than normal, knowing that they should be gone already, being the last kid there. That could be something that could be detrimental to your program because that kid may stop coming because they feel like they're becoming a burden. So if the parent is just as responsible as the kid, um, then they should be there just as on time. If the practice ends at 7, parents should be there by 7:15, no later than 7:30. There's no way a coach should still have a kid by 8:30, 9 o'clock, going into the next day when the kid have to be up by 7 o'clock. Also, I mean, just team events. If the parent is just totally out the loop, that means the kid is out the loop. So that means the kid have to hear what happened, the fun things that has happened over the weekend because the team had an event that they wasn't a part of because they just plain didn't know. So I feel like the parent has to be just as involved as the kids, which is why I personally give calendars. I try to keep everyone, parents, the school, I keep everybody in the loop of what I have going on because I want 100% involvement as much as I can in everything that we do. I want all kids there. Anything that we do, I want all kids to have the same uniform. I want all kids to have the same opportunity. I don't want that one kid just because they don't have the money to pay dues or they don't have this, that, and the third. Oh, they can't wear the uniform. Like that is one thing as a coach that it hurts. Like it hurts to have to look at those few kids who just can't. They just don't have it. Parents don't care. You talk to the parents. You try to come to an agreement on what's this, that, and the third. Parents just like, yeah, whatever. They don't need that. I'm just happy my kid playing football, but then they miss out on the team camaraderie. So I feel the parent have to be just involved as the kid. They have to be just as devoted. They have to be just as determined as that child. That's my feeling.
I'm glad you mentioned that because scheduling is something that, on the other side of scheduling, is something that a lot of single parents struggle with to try to get their kids in extracurricular youth sports activities, because they may work, So I am definitely an advocate for extra help as far as getting kids to the games and practice and stuff like that. How do you motivate a single parent to put their child in a sport or extracurricular activity if they don't have the time because they're working?
Well, I personally have offered my own personal service. I go pick the kids up myself. I pick the kids up. I feed them. All y'all know I feed all the kids. I feed the children every Friday, every Saturday if I can. I just try to let that parent know that I have her back or his back as much as possible. I mean, because I'm a single father myself of my youngest child. My oldest child, she's already been raised and she's grown now. But my youngest child, I'm a single father.
You're cutting off.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you all hear? I'm sorry. Y'all can't hear me?
We can hear you now.
Hello? Okay, I was just saying that I try to give as much support as I can because I'm a single parent as well. Y'all heard me? No?
Yes, I did hear you.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yes. Thank you. That's
I'm
very
sorry. It's
nice.
probably the area. It's probably the area I'm in, y'all. I'm so sorry. I do apologize.
No,
It's
you're
okay.
fine.
It's okay. So one of the other questions that I wanted to ask you, Coach Q, is after your experience and what you've had have gone through so far during your coaching career, what are some of the benefits that you see are impacting our children that we have involved in organized sports? How do you see them reaping these benefits of participating in these activities? During your coaching career? What have you seen? What are some of the positives that are the takeaways that we as parents can be rest assured that this is a good decision, this is a good move. Yes, this is going to be a family effort to get you involved, to get you back and forth to practice or to communicate with you. Hey, I'm going to be 10 minutes late, or hey, can you pick up my son? Can you pick up my daughter? Can you do any of that? What are some of the positive takeaways you have from that you would share with us parents about putting our children in organized sports?
Well, my my three main takeaways from any sports, just sports period, is number one, your child will get disciplined, regardless of the program itself. They will have to develop a pattern to be successful in what they are doing, which translates into the real world that I have to work harder to do something that I'm not normally doing, like waking up, going outside, going to play, versus waking up, going to school, doing homework. Then I got to devote to learning these plays so I can be active on the field. So like it's a whole lot of extra commitment. So it installs discipline and the will to want to. That's one thing that I do like about youth sports. Number two, it helps them be more organized. Um, it as far as what I see in the kids that I have coached, the organizational structure for them has evolved greatly. Like they will go from I see scattered notebooks, papers all in their book bag balled up until actually being able to open their notebooks and finding what they need. I don't tolerate a dirty locker room, so I'm hoping it translates into their room at home being clean as and structure with that as well. And then time management. I try to encourage time management to the top. time management. You can do a whole lot in a little bit of time as long as it's structured and organized the right way. And it can be done in a timely manner if you do it with the maximum effort possible. You can do it with the maximum effort possible. Anything can be done that you want to do. So I try to create those three major things into each child that I coach, teach, or motivate.
Those are great points. And I've definitely seen the structure and the organization translate from football to home with Bobby since he's been playing. And that's a positive takeaway for me. It's also teaching him discipline. He knows the days that he's got to get up early in the morning to come in for early conditioning. And then he's got a full day of school and then he's got practice. Know what time he has to show up on Saturday before the games and things like that. It is definitely reflective of this discipline that he's learning while he's playing this organized sport. And I'm appreciative of that and I'm grateful for that. And I definitely see it as a benefit. But not only that, it's something that he wants to do. It's not
Yes,
something
ma'am.
that we're forcing him to do. We're not like, oh, you're going to play football because we want to turn you into the next NFL star.
That's right. That's right. And
Mm-hmm.
to just kind of piggyback off that really quick, not to cut you off, but I go to dad car like some days after practice, and I'm like, "Hey, dad, man, Bobby had this." He just like, "All right." Like it just be like so. Like that showed me that it wasn't y'all. That it's totally Bobby, and he wants it for himself. And
I
so I try to install that in every last one of the kids that I coach. I want them to want to do it.
I was just about to say something about that because I've witnessed parents making their kids play sports that they're not interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what advice do you have for those parents? Because I feel like the kids look so drained, and it takes the fun out of the sport for them. It takes the
Absolutely.
fun out.
So my advice to parents that's forcing kids, I mean, is I don't recommend it for one because that kid is, I mean, the word forced is already a negative word. And then you're also asking them to force extra time, force extra learning, force extra duties into their lives that's probably already forced. So it's kind of like you just pumping negativity into a situation. So I don't recommend forcing a child to do anything that they do not want to do. I do not, and I highly discourage it. And also with sports like football, hockey, soccer, you forcing kids to go out there, high impact, kids colliding against them. They don't want to be out there. They could get hurt or they could either hurt someone else. So it's a safety issue as well. So the worst thing ever is to force a kid to do something that they naturally just don't want to do. I,
You're cutting off, Coach Q. Are you all able to hear him?
No, I can't.
No, I
I
can't
think
hear
he
him
went
there.
out.
That is a
Thanks.
good point, though, because it does take the fun out of it. It can really discourage you,
Yeah.
especially if your coach is super serious or it's just so many different factors. It just helps their self-esteem, and I've seen it, and I've also experienced that myself growing up playing team sports from basketball to softball. It just does something to your sportsmanship when you're able to work with other people. And sometimes you're not always able to get your way. Your teammate, it's their turn. It just does a lot. It really does do a lot for the overall just willpower and wanting to do something with themselves. Because I see the difference between the kids that just go home after school every day. They don't have anything to look forward to. They just play the game. They just watch the TV. They might go outside. but they do want to be involved. But it's like not everybody is athletic at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
it's like some kids, those other extracurriculars are going to have to come into play. But it's definitely up to the parents to get them involved, because if you're a parent that's not even listening to those signs that your kid is giving you, especially the kids that are just only children, if they are an only child, they definitely have to go out and learn how to play with other people, with other kids, how to get along with people, how to listen, how to take discipline, and just take that constructive criticism.
And I would say it's a great thing if you just let them explore, even if it's just a little bit sport by sport, so they can get a little taste of it
Yeah.
and exactly what it is that
Try
they're
it
good
out.
at and they like to do.
Yeah.
Yes,
Try
very
it out.
true.
So I wanted to ask this question to you ladies. Growing up, Natalie, you've mentioned a couple of things already. So what sports did you play, and did you play voluntarily because it was what you wanted to get into, or was it a suggestion that was made to you by your parent?
It was definitely a suggestion made by my parents because they both played sports growing up as well. But obviously, it was something that I enjoyed because I played softball from second grade all the way up through 12th grade. And then I played basketball from about sixth grade all the way up through 12th grade varsity. So I learned to love it. I was good at it. So I kept going. It did teach me a lot, like I said, about just knowing how to get along with other people and just, you know, it's just it's something in you when you're playing those sports that it does translate to at home, because then I was able to get along better with my younger brother, and he was involved in sports too. So it was just kind of like a family affair in my household, but it was definitely something that was fun because, well, actually, until I got to a coach that was just unfair because he had a daughter that was playing, and he was what our football coach. Our high school would go number one in the state quite often. If they didn't win, they were in the championship. So it's like I definitely wasn't going to get playing time over the head football coach's daughter. So at that point was when I decided, this isn't really for me. It discouraged me by them not being fair because clearly I was the better player.
Dominique, did you participate in any sports or extracurricular activities growing up?
That was a good example, yes. Basketball, I played for a little while. It was just a fun sport for me, but that was it.
Okay. I played soccer, I played field hockey, I ran track, and I cheered, and I played clarinet, I played piano, and I played powder puff football. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Girl, that field hockey, that's different.
it
Oh,
was it,
Yeah.
wa- it was different. I only played for one season. I wasn't feeling
Hmm.
it. I wasn't feeling it. Soccer, I played for two. Track and field, I did for four. But
Nice.
field
so
hockey,
which one did you enjoy the most?
track and field,
Hmm.
track.
Mm.
Yeah. Running track. Oh, and music. I really enjoyed music, learning how to play the piano and then playing the clarinet. I played the clarinet for a year and a half, and then I had to stop playing because I got braces. And my orthodontist told me that I couldn't use the clarinet because it was going against the pressure that was on my teeth for the braces. But I stuck with piano. I played piano for 10 years.
Wow.
I did musical competitions and had solos and all of that. So I think for me, I definitely organized activities, organized sports and extracurricular activities did give me a sense of discipline. It also gave me a sense of motivation. I was that girl where as soon as I could get my working permit, I went out and I got a job and I was working, honey. So I'm working, I'm participating in activities. I kept myself booked and busy. but it was the discipline from participating in these activities and having to practice and then having to go to recitals and then having to go to games and doing all these different things that I think instilled the drive in me that I carry with me up until this day. So I'm thankful for that. Coach Q, you have anything else? Anything else that you'd like to add in terms of your coaching experience, your advice to the kids, your advice to the parents? Any closing statements you'd like to share?
Yes, ma'am. My closing statements would be just to make sure that all kids do something positive in life. Find a passion, find a dream, find something to latch on to besides these video games and something. I mean, just be proactive in the community. I mean, clean up, volunteer, do something. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be the next Michael Jordan. You don't have to be the next LeBron James. You could be the next you. I mean, you could be the next you, be the best version of you, and everything else will fall in place according to however you want it to be.
Thank you for that. Nat?
Very, very powerful message tonight, Coach Q. I'm glad you were able to join us. I definitely say get involved, whether it's sports, whether it's music, whether it's photography, just find it what it is that is your niche and just run with it. You have to stay
Absolutely.
consistent, you have to work hard, and that's just towards anything in life. So I enjoyed this show. Great topic, y'all.
Dominique?
I don't have anything, but just keep in mind of all the great benefits as Coach Q talked about of involving your kids in extracurricular activities and sports. I mean, like he said, just find something, that the kid might be interested in and they may be good at.
Absolutely. I think this is definitely it was a great conversation. Coach Q, thank you so much for participating and for providing your input. I think it's powerful that you're making the statement that you don't necessarily have to play a sport. You don't necessarily have to be an athlete. Find different things. If you try to play basketball for a year and you figure out that it's not for you, then fine, move on to something
Move
else.
on to something else. Absolutely.
If music is your thing, do that. But be involved somehow.
Right.
Just as you said, be involved in something. The days where we could just go outside until the street lights came on are over with. A lot of these kids are coming home after school and they're on social media, they're playing video games, they're not doing chores around the house, they're not doing anything, they don't have discipline. And I just believe that being involved in extracurricular activities such as organized sports or other things gives these kids a sense of discipline and a sense of responsibility that assists them as they're going through their childhood and growing up, and is preparing them to be responsible adults. So thank you all for a great episode. I enjoyed this topic and this conversation. We will see you next Sunday at 8 p.m. right here. Real Chill Conversations with Brenna, Dominique, Natalie, Edwina, Coach Q. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me.
And we'll have the video up on our.
Thank you, Coach Q.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.